Here we welcome in America First Action spokesperson and former Trump campaign spokesperson, Katrina Pierson. Katrina, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm with the 2020 campaign now.
All right. Well, that's a big step, and it's obviously 2 years away. But these things ramp up so early now.
They do.
They do. So, to this $1.3 trillion spending bill, it's a lot of American tax dollars. But of course, we also funded the military and a number of really great programs and worthy causes. Where do you land on this?
Well, you know, I actually share the sentiments of the president today. That is a lot of money to be spending right now. We have not even gotten to plenty of the cuts that should be already in there. And I have to agree with him. You know, the House and the Senate sent him a bill that he's not happy with, I'm not happy with, and I'm sure a lot of Americans are not going to be happy with, mainly because some of the things that are a top priority for the president were not in this bill. However, what the president said is that it was definitely a matter of national security to go ahead and sign this piece of legislation, because it is critical when we have things going on over in Syria. We're dealing with Russia, meeting coming up with North Korea. It is imperative to build up our military, and that is why he feels like he was forced to sign that bill today.
All right, I'd like to play you one more piece of sound from President Trump's press conference earlier. He was talking about the size of the bill and how they had to concede to Democratic wishes as well, and then he said this.
We have to get rid of the filibuster rule and go to 51 votes in the Senate if we're going to have really sustained, continued success.
All right, what do you think about that? Do you agree?
Wholeheartedly. I am a big supporter of ending the filibuster rule. This is a rule that was put in place by Democrats, and for whatever reason, Mitch McConnell is using it as a crutch to say that if we got rid of it, we have to worry about it because somebody else might come along and use it. Well, there's no doubt in my mind or the president's mind that if Democrats were in charge, they would be using it. This is something that we have access to and the availability to use to pass the agenda. President Trump was elected. He beat the Republican establishment. He beat the Democrat establishment. It is time to get his agenda passed. So I agree with him. And I'm pretty sure you're going to see a large rally cry moving forward to end the filibuster rule to get these policies passed.
All right. Well, a lot of public commenting on this as well. On Newsmax's Twitter page, before the president signed the bill, Jake commented, "President Trump, please veto the bill and shut the government down. Congress is trying to prove they don't care what the voters want." Obviously, people are on both sides of this, but the president was voted in to fulfill his agenda, as you said. So what is your reaction to comments like this from Jake? Should the president have shut the government down?
I think the president actually feels the same way that Jake did in the beginning of the day when he tweeted that he was considering vetoing it. I would assume that it was a struggle for him to sign that awful piece of legislation, the one that he talked about being thousands of pages long. This is the swamp-like tactics that they use in the 25th hour and not give anyone time to read before voting on it. So Jake's right. I mean, this is what the government is doing to the people. They are passing bills before they can read them. President Trump felt forced, as he said in his own words, to sign it just for the stated intentions of national security. There are several people, I'm sure Twitter right now is still talking about this very topic.
I'm sure they are.
But I do think the president will not sign another bill like this again.
Yeah. All right. I want to move on and get your thoughts on another development. Last night, the president made the change from H.R. McMaster to John Bolton as the national security advisor. House Intelligence ranking Democrat and Trump critic Adam Schiff tweeted this about Bolton. "It's hard to escape the disquieting conclusion that the mass exodus of the adults from this administration is putting our nation's security at risk. Ambassador Bolton's hawkish and conspiratorial thinking will only make matters." Dave, the disquieting conclusion that the mass exodus of the adults from this administration is putting our nation's security at risk. Ambassador Bolton's hawkish and conspiratorial thinking will only make matters dangerously worse. Okay, so a couple things to break down here. Is he too quick to get rid of his advisors? But also your opinions about John Bolton. Is he too hawkish for the position?
No, I don't think so. I think John Bolton has a very long tenure in government, particularly in the diplomatic arena. His experience as ambassador to the United Nations brings him a quality that not very many people will have, because knowing the different cultures across the world really shape the strategic measures moving forward. John Bolton is someone, as you mentioned, that is hawkish, but that means he understands that diplomacy is most effective if you have a strong military right behind you if necessary. I don't think that John Bolton is someone that's going to force his own opinion onto the president. I think he's going to provide very valuable advice and information to the president for the president to make his own decisions. I don't think that John Bolton is looking to be a chief. I think he's just looking to be an asset.
All right. Well, a lot of comments on this as well on Newsmax.com, getting to both sides. Some saying this pick will lead to more American aggression, as Bolton can be known to be a war hawk, as we just talked about. But on the other hand, one commentator wrote, so we get rid of McMaster, who is at best a liberal, and replace him with Bolton. Now we have someone without the Pollyanna vision of the world, someone who will have no problem telling President Trump which area needs the most attention. Great pick. So is that a good thing, or could it backfire if he agrees too much with the president?
I don't think it's going to backfire, simply because remember how President Trump, or candidate Trump, then campaigned very much against putting troops everywhere, all over the world for no reason. This is why it's so important with all of these important topics coming up, as I mentioned before, Russia, North Korea, things going on in Syria, Afghanistan. Somebody with John Bolton's wisdom, I think, would be very good for the president to make those decisions. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, assume that whomever the person is advising the president's going to fall lockstep in with them, when in fact he is the decision maker. He likes to hear all sides, good, bad, and the ugly, before making the final decision. Right.
Okay. Well, before we let you go, we want to have some fun here with the news surrounding Bolton. Here are the first few lines from an article in The Hill. President Trump's decision to name John Bolton as his new national security advisor was made despite his distaste for Bolton's mustache, according to multiple reports. So Trump's dislike for Bolton's mustache is well known. Aides told the Washington Post in 2016 that it was Bolton's facial hair that was one of the several reasons Trump didn't pick him as his Secretary of State. Your reaction to that, and the biggest question on everyone's minds, which is obviously, is he going to shave his mustache?
Well, I'm not so sure about the reports that came out about John Bolton's mustache. I highly doubt that he's going to shave it. It is sort of his signature, if you will. But no, I think it's fine. I think it's great that people are having fun with it. This isn't someone other than the far left Democrats that are complaining about. It's important that you have the base and other Republicans in the party supportive of this pick. And at this point, I believe they are.
All right. Well, Katrina, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, good luck with the 2020 campaign.
Great to be here. Thank you.